Changing a rear seat belt on a Vauxhall Mokka 2012. So I'm changing this because it's got a rip in the seat belt there. It's quite badly torn, not sure what's happened to it. So the top panel has a plastic cover, pop that off with a small flathead screwdriver, and then there's a Phillips screw behind that. Then you've got to undo the panel underneath. So you've got these panels, I've pulled these out, they're just like covers so you can get to the bulbs and things. I don't know if you actually need to remove those, but I've pulled them out anyway. I've got this one loose, that was just the one screw, and then you just pull that away. It's wedged in under the rubber, so you just pull that out. The panel underneath, you've got that on there, so I've just taken that off, 10mm spanner. And then this one, it's got a popper there, I've pulled that off, doesn't seem to be anything behind that. And then you've got clips that go into the body of the car, so I've just pulled those out, a little bit of force. Looks like to get this panel away, I've taken this polystyrene that's got your tool kit in, I've taken that out of the way. And also there's a, your sort of floor panel, pull that out, because this is going to have to come out this way a little bit. And then when I've got it loose, it's somehow going to have to pull forwards, because you've got that bracket there for the seat catch. That's going to have to, the panel's going to have to come forward, but it looks like I may have to, I'm just undoing a 10mm bolt here, because I'm probably going to have to take the seat out of the way as well, because if you look at the black plastic panel, it goes in a loop around the seat belt, the seat hinge. So it looks like I'm gonna have to undo that, and then we'll see how I get on then. So I've taken the 10mm bolt out of there, and this clip, just put a spanner underneath there and it'll pop up out of the way. Hopefully I'll be able to lift the seat up now out of the way, but you never know. Hooray, I got the seat out. So I had to sort of lift the seat up a little bit, almost into the upright position, and then I pulled it across and lifted it up, and it lifted out of that slot. It's got like a spring on that, so you've got to sort of pull it to one side and then lift it out. So this side panel is almost free now, but one panel seems to be attached to another panel and you have to keep going. So this one down by the sill, car needs a good cleaner now. That one might have to come out as well, even though it's joined there. I might have to pull this one out. It goes on and on. Right, I've pulled this one out down by the sill. I just pulled out. So this panel's free now. Some of the parts are a little bit brittle. Be careful, there's one popper down here. So those go into the bodywork, and you're supposed to be able to just pull them away, but cheap plastic rubbish, see? So that's come away. I don't think we'll really need that bit. So you've got two big star keys to undo, star bolts I call them. There's one there, one down by the roll, and then another one down at the base. So this main side panel is fully away now. I even have to loosen the middle bit of trim under the tailgate. Two sort of lashing hooks there. I have to take those out to loosen this, because that was hooked under there. So I had this sort of big star key attachment, as I call it. That was off an impact driver, and I fitted it onto a socket wrench just to get a bit of leverage on it. So you've got three of these bolts to take off, one at the base. I've taken that one off. It's just under the trim there, and then you've got to just feed that back through the trim. So remember, when you put the new one on, put it through there before you bolt it on. Then you've got the one bolt on there, I've loosened that, and then I've taken the one off the main reel there. So that's the new seatbelt bolted in. I've done these bolts up nice and tight. So that sort of sits in there, upside down. It's got three sort of location pins. They sit on top of the bodywork there. And that middle bit goes down the slot, so you know exactly how it's located. That that bolt, and then the other bolt down the front. That one there, which was threaded through that bit of trim. So you see this bit of trim on the side. You can see how that goes underneath this piece, and there's two location holes there for that to fit into. And then the edging will have to be slotted back under the trim, the rubber trim, the seal on the boot. Then line up these clips with the bodywork, about 4 of those. Try and line them all up fairly closely together with the location holes, and then just give it a good push back into place. There's a bit of trim in the doorway needs to go back in. So it just hooks over the top. I'll press it into place. The rubber seal around the door will just sort of peel out. You just pull it out with your fingers so it just overlaps the trim. So I'll get that done. Okay, so that's the rubber seal back in place. One by the tailgate done. One Phillips screw to go back in there. Seat back in next. Fit it into that lug hole there. This one will lift over the top. Probably can't do that with one hand. Okay, so that's slotted back in quite easily. And then I've got a retaining clip and a small bolt to put back in place to hold the seat in. So that plastic clip just slides down into the slot, and then I've got to do that bolt up, 10mm. Okay, so seat's back in place. So that's the old seat belt with a slight tear in the side. It did pass the MOT with it like that, but it was an advisory. So I decided to go on eBay and find another seat belt and put it in. And here's the new one fitted. And it's the right one, so that's good after all that trouble. Give it a quick pull and it locks, so that's good. I was surprised how much fuss it was to change the seat belt. So I had to loosen this bit of trim here, pull all this black trim off, which I kind of expected to do, and the top one, that one had to come off. That seat had to be removed, and there was the trim down by the door, down by the sill, and then the 3 main bolts for the seat belt. Quite heavy duty, as you'd expect, because a seat belt is a safety device. And hope this is helpful if you're thinking of replacing your own seat belt. If you're not sure how to do it, I'd recommend going to a garage, because I'm not a mechanic, and it is something that needs to be done correctly, because seatbelt is a life-saving device, and I'm confident that that will stop an elephant because I've bolted it in nice and tightly. So that's that. So that was the Vauxhall Mokka, changing the seatbelt. I might have a look at the wiper motor at some point. I'm not doing that today, but we got wiper issues as well. I've seen a few videos where people have had problems with the wiper motor, where the wipers just come on with the ignition, and also seem to flash the lights as well with the wiper control. Very odd. The Vauxhall Mokka, or the Vauxhall Gremlin.